I just got back from Brooklyn in New York City. I drove up from where I live here in Philadelphia, and I met my brother last night so we could go to a concert. And we went to see French 79. Such a great artist. I highly recommend him. Search him on YouTube and listen to his music, watch his videos. He's so great. But the interesting thing was that yesterday I had my first French class in almost 20 years. I had studied French in high school, but I took a French class at the Language Academy with Professor Arguez. And so I had my first French class yesterday, and then last night I saw French 79, who is a French artist if you couldn't tell. So how great is that? I was able to study French in the morning, and then at night I could go to see French 79, and I could hear drunk, rowdy Frenchmen behind me shouting in French the entire concert. So yeah, that was such a great experience. But I ended up sleeping on my brother's couch, and then I just drove back to Philadelphia. I got back maybe 10, 20 minutes ago, and so I decided to make this video. Now, some of you have been asking about my meditation routine and what I do when I meditate. So I decided I would make this video on that. I made some notes, as you can see. But yeah, let's talk about meditation. So if you don't know already, I meditate for 45 minutes in the morning and 45 minutes in the evening. So it's a total of an hour and a half every day. Now, this isn't something that I absolutely have to do no matter what, the same way it is when I study the 8 languages that I'm studying. The 8 languages I study every day, I have to study them every day, and I haven't missed a day. But for meditation, like last night, because I was at the concert, I didn't have time to meditate for 45 minutes, so I just ended up going to sleep. I did meditate in the morning, but at night I didn't have time, so I just went to sleep. Likewise, if I have to get an early start on the day and be somewhere, then I might not meditate for the 45 minutes in the morning. I do try to at least get one of the sessions in per day, and it's very, very rare that I don't get in any meditation in a day. So something about meditation is that there's this great quote, and a lot of people say Abraham Lincoln said this quote, but I'm pretty sure he did not say this quote. But anyway, the quote goes that Abraham Lincoln said, if I had 6 hours to chop down a tree, I would spend the first 4 sharpening my axe. And I feel that's what meditation is like, because I could take that hour and a half I meditate each day and I could put it very easily into language studies. So I could increase my language study time per day by an hour and a half very easily. But I feel that that hour and a half of meditation makes the other hours of my day that much more effective. And that's why I continue to do it. So what do I do when I meditate? It's actually pretty simple. One thing that I do is I might focus on the breath. I focus on the breath going out and coming in and then out and in. And of course, sometimes I'll get distracted maybe, but then I just remember that I'm supposed to be focusing on the breath, and I bring my mind back to that and I continue. So that's one thing. The second thing is to just watch the thoughts that come up in my mind. So I just sit there with my eyes closed, and I let whatever thoughts are going to arise in my mind, I just let them come up. I don't judge them. I don't get angry. I don't, feel some type of way about them. But I just let them come up, and then I watch them, and then usually they go after some time, and then maybe other thoughts come up. And I just use this as a way to let the thoughts come in and out of my mind and to let them express themselves, because I feel sometimes in our waking lives we don't give ourselves the space to have certain thoughts that might need to be expressed. So this is a good way to kind of get that out and let yourself process those thoughts. So the thing about meditation is that if you sit there with your eyes closed, either focusing on your breath or watching your thoughts or doing any other kind of meditation, you get very comfortable with doing very little or doing nothing, pretty much. You might sit there with your eyes closed and not do anything. And if you can get comfortable with doing nothing, then that just makes it so much easier to study languages, because studying languages is a very rote task. It's a very monotonous task. For example, there may be instances where you get something or something clicks, but those are far and few in between. You might have moments where you get to speak to someone in the foreign language, and that's such a great feeling to use what you've learned. But actually, most of the time, you are just studying thousands of words by yourself alone in a room. I'm usually in this room, and I'm just going through words and memorizing vocabulary. And it's a very rote process of just going through word by word by word and learning them. So if you can get good at meditation and just be fine or even happy or just, steady, sitting there doing nothing, then it's going to make it that much easier to do something like studying a language that's very monotonous. If your stimulation is zero while you meditate, then any little bit of stimulation will be that much more above the baseline that you've established, right? So something else I wanted to talk about is something I'll call the window method. And this is something that I use during meditation to achieve what I want to achieve. This can be used for many things. It doesn't necessarily have to be languages, but since I like to talk about languages, we'll use languages for this. So what is the window method? Basically, when you meditate, what you want to do is you want to get an image in your mind of you being either fluent in the language or you being able to speak the language you're studying. Basically have some image in your mind that you can visualize very easily. And it might be good to visualize the target or the goal of your language studies. For example, if you're learning the language to speak with family or your friends, you might want to visualize yourself speaking with your family and friends effortlessly with no trouble at all. Now, this might sound very similar to visualization techniques that have become popular recently. And I do think it's a good idea to visualize and to feel like you're confident and that you've achieved already that goal that you have. But there's another element to it which I think is vital and very important that a lot of visualization methods leave out. So what is that component? Basically, when you're meditating and you're sitting there, you just want to calm the mind. You want to have that image in your mind ready, that image of you being fluent or speaking the language effortlessly. And you just want to rest and get comfortable and just sit there and let your mind clear out. Eventually, at some point, what you're going to feel is it's going to feel like a window opening. And that's the best way I can describe it, but it's gonna be a little weird, but you'll feel like a window is opening. And the first time it happens, you're gonna be like, wow, that's weird, and your mind will focus on it, and then it'll go away. It'll just close immediately. But that's fine because the window can open, thousands of times, as many times as you want it to. So next time when you experience that window opening for an instant, when your mind kind of shifts into that state where you feel like there's an opening there and the opportunity, then you want to take that image which you visualize in your head of you being fluent, and you want to send it. You want to send it through the window. You want to transmit it through the window. And you might only be able to do this for a half second or an instant. That's perfectly okay. Basically, you just want to be able to send that image into uh, through the window into the ether, or whatever you want to call it, into the other side. And basically, you will have sent that visualization out there. Now, what will happen when you do this is, if you're more spiritually minded, you could say that the world will change to match the image that you've sent out into it. So is above, so is below, this kind of thing. But if you're more psychologically minded, you could say that you are sending this and impressing it onto your subconscious. And then your subconscious will attune your mind to the opportunities and, yeah, the situations and circumstances that will lead you successfully to that image that you've built in your mind. So either way you want to think about it is fine. Whether you want to think of it spiritually minded or psychologically minded, both are okay. But I find that this method, the window method, I'll call it, is quite effective, and it's good at being able to achieve something like becoming fluent in a foreign language and being able to study to the level that you will make some progress, because we all know learning languages is not easy and it does take effort, time. So we need to use every advantage that we can get on our side. So yeah, that's a little bit about my meditation routine and my meditation techniques. I hope that you got something out of that. And if you do try some of these methods or techniques, or if you pick up meditation, let me know. You can either leave a comment on this video, or you can send me a message, DM me on Instagram, whatever you want to do. Anyway, as for me, I'm going to get back to studying languages before my Arabic class a little later today. So I'm off to do that. All right, thank you.